This episode of The Direction is brought to you by Kentucky 811. Know what's below, call before you dig. Well, folks, this week we're going to have a very special episode. We're going to be filming in memory of Nathan Wimsatt. I've known Nathan since he was a very young kid, and I've got a lot of great stories to share. His father, Brian Wimsatt, is going to be joining me in the boat to fish my home lake of Taylorsville, Kentucky. And we're going to go out, share some great stories, and go catch a bunch of good old crappie. Everyone has a story. Sometimes it's about catching monster bass. Now that's a studly mudley, baby. And sometimes it's about life's lessons. Every story is as unique as the person who tells it. So join us as we make some new friends, reunite with some old ones, catch a few fish, and share a story or two. I'm Mark Stowe, and this is The Direction.
Welcome to a very special and personal episode of The Direction. This week, Mark reflects on the tragic death of a dear friend of the family, Nathan Wimsatt. Nathan passed at only 18 years old in a tragic car accident in April of 2023. Nathan's dad, Brian, and Mark spend a day of remembrance on the water, telling stories and healing, celebrating the life of a loved one that ended too soon.
All right, Brian, it is a good brisk morning, and we have rolled in here up to the lake, and we're going to hit the water and try to catch some crappie. You told me it was going to be 50 degrees out today. I mean, what were you? Why did you tell me it was going to be 50?
I think that was you, Mark. You promised me a nice warm day, but it's cold. It's like 20-something degrees, but it's beautiful out here.
Out on the water, early winter. We're going to go catch some fish, tell some good stories, and, well, hopefully have a good day.
Sounds good. Mark's telling me that there's crappie out there.
Guessing we probably won't be fishing 2, 3, 4 foot deep at the most.
Okay.
So you'd think cold water fish deep, but these crappie move up and they get shallow and they go in there to feed for the winter time, and it's usually game on. So, but you know what? We can't catch any of them talking, so we better get rolling.
I never went fishing when it was below 75.
Oh, now come on now, Brian, now you're worrying me. You pull it out and you slide that bobber up and down the line anywhere you want it, depth-wise. And then all you gotta do is take that little peg, stick it in there. Now you got the depth you want. And with crappie fishing, it's always important to know what depth you're catching them at. And all I have is a simple little tube jig, a little big jig head in it, right there, tied on there. And I like the head inside the tube so that the tube don't pull off. If you did it, you just stuck the tube up on the hook, it would pull off all the time. This way it doesn't come off. Now all you're doing is setting the depth, casting it at a piece of wood, letting it fall, sit there, and waiting for the fish to touch the bobber. Now if they as much as touch that bobber, you got to set the hook, because sometimes they don't pull the bait under. So now look, if that bobber as much as moves, Brian, you set the hook. Okay. Like, so see my bobber, how it's sitting there? If it lays down or falls over or stands up, you got to set the hook, because that means the crappie's got to hold it.
I got to get my my bait wet.
There you go. It's not bad. Bad cast. You'll get the hang of that long rod. It'll take you a few minutes. Yeah, because you're going to be using a real long rod.
All right, so that's mine. Oh yeah.
Oh, look at Brian.
Yeah. She's a little one.
Hey, you got us off the zero board though.
Look, it's got so much drag. It's so big it won't even.
Oh, here we go. I know he's messing with it.
Oh, I got it.
You're going to have to swing him, yep. Hey.
Look at that.
You got us off the zero board.
Hey, that felt pretty good.
Did he hit it hard?
No.
No, he just barely twitched the bobber?
He took it under though.
Hey. There's our day opener right there.
All right, there's not a bust today.
Not a bust. You let us out the gate right there.
Can you lift these?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, look at that.
Now, unfortunately, he ain't big enough to keep, but it's better than a goose egg.
It is, all right. I'm not going home a loser today.
No, you're not a loser. You're the winner so far. This segment was brought to you by Jinko Fishing. It's all about the action. This segment is brought to you by Denali Rods, tournament tested, tournament tough. So what you want to do is look, when you keep track of how deep you're catching them by doing this. Look, here's the tip. See this? Put your bobber up there. See how I swing my bait back here? I know I'm between this guide and this guide. So right now I'm going to remember that's how deep I'm catching them. And the reason for that is so that when I set up on my next one, you know, like say I broke my line, then you know about where you were and so you're in the same spot.
Okay.
So you can either shorten it up a little bit if you want to try it, or you can just stay that deep.
Hey, in all my years, I've never had ice on my fishing pole. That's a new one.
Another morning, cold morning. You know, you think the middle of winter that you won't want to be out here, Brian. You know it?
Yep.
And we're out here catching crappie in ice cold water. It's fun stuff right there.
Yep, pretty fish.
Makes me appreciate all our Florida June and July Florida trips.
Yeah.
Oh.
But really, this isn't bad at all.
It's not normally I'm hanging out with this guy in our swimsuit sitting on the beach in Florida all the time. We've had many a day down there.
Oh yeah. We went deep sea fishing one time.
Oh yeah. Oh, that was a good time.
Yep.
That was good. That was a fun trip. I got that picture of Nick and Nathan and me and you.
There's red snappers.
Yep, all them snappers we caught, and they were in front. Them boys were in front of that sign. They weren't this high.
Yep.
Either one of them wasn't. I mean, what were they? Probably 9, 10.
So I was thinking about that. We moved out here to Taylorsville when Nally was in 2nd grade and Nathan was in the 4th grade. So Nick would have been in the 3rd grade. And,
Yep, because he's a year younger than Nathan. That's right.
Yeah, and we met y'all that summer when we moved in at the soccer field.
Yep, because the boys played soccer together.
Yep.
And then they played rec basketball together.
We figured, you know, the best way to get acclimated to the new community we were moving to was get the kids involved in sports, and that helped a lot.
So I remember Papa Bill telling Nathan he'd give him so much money per basket. Remember that?
Yeah, it's like $5 a basket or something. Nathan had some incentive.
Nathan played with heart because of that. Papa was paying him off. You know, Nathan had wanted to, like you said, that vehicle, and because it was something totally different that nobody else had, y'all literally went and, how far did you go to pick that thing up?
It was Virginia. It was a good 6 hour.
I was going to say, I remember y'all going on a trip to get it and bringing it home. And of course, Nathan is just a car. I mean, he loved cars anyway. You get him on that subject, talking about all of that, and so now Brian is actually taking the Jeep, and Nathan wanted to get a diesel put in it. Am I correct?
Correct.
And so you have taken the Jeep apart now, part of it, to get this diesel in there, you and your brothers and a number of his friends, and you all are completing this project like as we speak right now.
Correct. We're about 3/4 of the way into it, getting it done.
Well, I enjoy listening to you talk about it, and that y'all are all spending the time to do that together.
Look at that.
See, speaking of talking good times, and there comes a fish right there. Hey, you're under, Brian. Oh, you're under. Set to it. Set to it. There you go. Same tree, double.
Sweet.
Hey,
look at that.
Hey, now I had to coach him on that one. Now hold on. I had to see it.
I didn't even know it was under.
I was like, Brian, your bobber's laying on its side.
Oh, see, Marcus, he's always got my back. I'm telling you.
I'll try to carry you. Don't trust me all the time, Brian. Let me promise. How about that double right there? See, we get talking about the old Jeep Comanche and Nathan, and look at there. There's a good old double right there. Hey, that's what you came out here for, to come home smelling like fish.
Heck yeah.
Now, you know what'll happen though, don't you? You'll get home and Catherine will want to snuggle now because you'll smell like a fish.
Women like fish? I think that's the opposite.
I don't have your back all the time, Brian.
Mine's bigger.
I agree. Hold it out there farther. Here, we go like
No,
that.
it's like it.
This segment is brought to you by Rust-Oleum, paint, and so much more.
Mark called and said, hey, I need you on Saturday, and I want you to bring your boat. I'm like, all right, that's cool. Whatever you need, Mark, I'll be there. He said, we're gonna land an 811 balloon on a boat. I'm like, what?
And we did it, by the way.
Yeah, Nathan went with us, Natalie went, and two 811 balloons ended up landing. One in the water and one on Mark's boat. It's incredible.
In this lake.
Yes.
And then my phone is blowing up because people are calling me going, did you see this balloon trying to land in the lake, or was something was going on? Of course, it was us up here doing that. But it was funny because I even got phone calls from people from us doing that. And
that was an experience.
hey, I could call him up and con him into doing anything.
We have such a strong community here in Taylorsville, and you know, Natalie was the football coach, or the football manager, and Mr. Marksberry, he was there keeping an eye on Natalie, and really meant a lot to us.
Yeah, Mike is a great, we're really lucky to be in a good community.
I agree.
You really see it in the times of need.
Yeah, and you don't really notice it until tragedy happens or something, and man, community's there to help. We did a lot of family fishing on the pond, and Nathan did not like it when his sister would outfish him.
Here we go. Now this
That
is good
one looks
crappie,
good.
I'm afraid. No, I think I got me a bass. How'd I guess that? He was a tugging and a pulling, that's why. There's a little bass. Little buddy right there. You will have union food breaks. See, now here's what I like to do to everybody while they're all trying to eat lunch. I like to keep catching. Well, Brian's over here rooting around for food to feed all of you. And,
It's not that one.
well, I'm catching fish. That's mean, ain't it? All right, Brian, so far we've caught quite a few crappie. It's been a little chilly this morning. It started to warm up a little bit. And the wind is starting to blow a little bit. We're getting a little chop on the water. We got to get some keepers, Brian.
I agree.
Yeah, there's a wad of garbage, right? Oh no, you got one, Brian. Yeah, I'm gonna say you just got smoked.
Ooh.
Getting ready to say you got smoked right there. Hey, now you're getting close to keeper's eyes.
Not quite, but yeah.
You
Fish
look
is,
deeper,
a fish
look
is a
at that.
fish, right?
Hey, now, Brian says, let me pick that off of there. I can't even
Oh,
get
yeah.
bit, and you're getting close to keeper's
Yeah.
eyes now.
I'd say it's pretty close. All right, go tell your friends about my hook.
Go tell your friends about my hook.
Need some more.
Buried up under there. That's a good one there.
Oh, that's a keeper, ain't it?
Yeah, that's a keeper. That's what we're trying to catch right there. Gotta get us a little keeper. Little Taylorsville 10-inch keeper. See, we used to have a 9-inch limit, and then they changed it to 10 inches.
Yeah, it's a good size.
That's all we gotta catch. We need them grow bigger than that, though. We need big slabbers. Look at that. I'm going to say, man, you boys can't be hiding from me like that. They're all over that depth finder. Like, there ain't no way. Look at that big keeper.
Yeah.
Now that's what you like to catch.
That one's fat.
That's what we like catching. Wintertime crappie right there. They aren't
That's a nice
monsters, but they're a lot of fun to catch.
I like it.
Hey, Nathan, be proud of us, see?
He would.
This segment is brought to you by Power Pole, Swift, Silent, Secure. There is a wad of them right here.
Yeah, between 6 and 8.
Yeah. What I'm doing is I'm watching that bobber. If that bobber remotely stops on its slide back as that bait's pulling on, I'm going to drill that fish.
Yeah. It's hard to tell. There's a lot going on in up
It's
the
a
waves.
whole lot. But the waves help that bite because it jiggles that tube a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, turkey. You might be hung up. You might want to reel a little bit. There he is. See him lay my bobber up sideways?
I did not.
Yeah, he just made my bobber. See, your bobber's laying sideways. You got to get it to stand up. Yeah, because that means you're laying on the log. I'm watching the bobber. So if the bobber doesn't stand up, look at all them crappie. I mean, that is just nuts. How many fish are, and we're on top of them. I mean, they're like literally right there. Look at that, that's a giant, where did this catch that one at?
Well, that's where you
Swing
were
that
sitting.
in here. You better swing it in there. There, I'm gonna help you.
Holy cow.
Now that right there, my friend, now that's a crappie.
This may be a keeper.
I think you passed the keeper part, Brian. We'll give you some slack. Look at that, Dan. Now that right there, now that's a tournament fish, see.
Holy cow, that made my day.
That makes my day. What are you talking about? Now that right there, now that's a beautiful fish. Look at there. Hey,
Look at the sun glistening.
boom. Now it's time for your safe digging moment of the week, brought to you by 811. Always remember to call before you dig. Our 811 moment of the week is my son Nick getting to be out on beautiful Taylorsville Lake with us with our close friend Brian Wimsatt, telling stories about his son Nathan. What a wonderful day just getting to share and celebrate a young man who will forever live in our hearts. We said before we came, I called you a few weeks ago and said, hey Brian, I love what I get to do with my show and getting out on the water with folks and sharing their stories, and of course your story is a very difficult one for me, and I get very the words are hard for me because one, knowing Nathan and watching him grow up, and that is hard for me, and as a friend to you and that, but probably the most humbling thing for me is how do you get through every day? And and you said it that you wanted to share with others about your faith and what does carry you through every day.
Yeah, I appreciate it. Like, every day's hard, but I'm strong in my faith. My family's strong in our faith, and we believe Nathan's in heaven and we'll see him again one day. So between now and when I see him again, I want to live every day to honor him. I know he would want us to try to be happy and joyful as best we can, and live a life that honors him and honors God.
I do want to say thank you, though, for coming out here today and taking the time to share Nathan's story and continuing to affect people with him. And I think when people watch this and every day, and everybody that sees it, it'll make them hopefully think about life, and I can't say thank you enough for taking the time to allow me to be able to share a little piece of that story with me in the boat, because this is my passion. I love what I do. I love filming, love the direction, and where we've been able to go with that, and this is truly what I feel is the purpose of it. In my true heart is to share people's stories and hopefully reach a person that it might touch them and take them to make a good decision in life to take a new journey. And I just want to thank you for that, Brian, as a friend.
All right, well, thank you, Mark. I mean, the honor's all mine. I appreciate it.
The Direction is brought to you by 811. Know what's below, call before you dig. We would also like to thank these fine partners. Closed captioning is brought to you by USA North. Call 811 before you dig.